We have some seats up front and in the sides. If people in the back want to take a seat, feel free to come forward. And I think all the big guests are here, so we're going to get started. Again, welcome. My name is Guy Merritt. I'm the Chief of Community Corrections for the Prince George's County Department of Corrections. And welcome to the ribbon cutting for this building, the Community Corrections Center. This is an exciting time for us as we move to expand options available to the county for working with individuals who find themselves involved within the legal system, experiencing disconnection from the community that often comes with incarceration. I want to thank all of our guests, in particular our County Executive Rashawn Baker, who has supported our development. Mr. Baker has supported our development of more effective reentry services and alternatives to incarceration. I'd also like to acknowledge and introduce a few individuals with us today. We also have the Honorable Melvin High, who is Sheriff. Ms. Lakina Webster, Special Assistant to the Deputy, now I glitched it. Okay. Deputy, I can never say DCAO in the long form. Deputy Chief Administrative Officer for Public Safety. Mr. Barry Stanton, who is the Deputy Chief Administrative Officer for Public Infrastructure. Mr. Jonathan Bender, Special Assistant to the Deputy Chief Administrative Officer. Can I say DCAO? Okay, thank you. Bridget Greer, Deputy Director on behalf of Stephanie R. Maxwell, Director of the Office of Human Resources Management. I think she's somewhere here. We also have Dana Brooks, Assistant Fire Chief, on behalf of Mr. Benjamin Barksdale, Chief. We have Assistant Chief Hector Velez on behalf of Mr. Henry Stawinski, Police Chief. Rhonda Hudson Fowler, who is here for us, and Keith Lottridge, who is Acting Public Defender, District 5. The Honorable Judge Adams, Chief Administrative Judge. Mark McGaugh, who is the Deputy Chief Administrative Officer for Public Safety. And we also have Gigi Whittington, Director of Homeland Security.
We have a couple more.
We got a couple more?
We have the Honorable Derek Davis, Representative of District 24. Newly nominated to fill that position again, and you got the deputies. Anybody else tonight?
Are we good?
Yep. Well, the deputies you can do. Our deputies.
Our deputies, okay. Our deputies, I don't want to leave them out. We have Deputy Director of Administration, Corinne LeBay, and Deputy Director of Security, Mark Persons. This project has been in development for some time. The original plans called for the facility to be named the Work Release Facility. Finding work and developing usable skills is clearly a foundational piece of all of our lives, and it is a key component for reducing recidivism. The title, however, was changed to Community Release Center to acknowledge the holistic nature of addressing all the issues which contribute to sustained community reintegration. Along with our community partners, especially the Health Department and the Department of Social Services, we will be addressing vocational needs, linkages to community health providers for physical and psychiatric wellness, counseling for substance abuse, trauma, and other co-occurring mental health issues that are overrepresented in the correctional population. Our mission is to be not just a place for individuals to be housed for a period of supervision, but to act as a platform by which we might equip those moving through the center with everything possible for their success. Now I'd like to introduce our Deputy Director of Administration, Corinne LeBay. Ms. LeBay knows firsthand the history of the Department of Corrections' work with reentry and community release services. Deputy Director LeBay.
Thank you. Thank you, Guy. Good morning. As Deputy Director for the Bureau of Administration, I'm honored to have the Community Release Center fall within my bureau. Today is an exciting day for us here at DOC and the county. I recall from the annals of history where the Department of Corrections started work release when the old jail was in operation. The program operated from the basement of the Hyattsville Courthouse. I estimate that the capacity was somewhere between 15 to 20 offenders. In 1987, when the existing jail was built, also on its complex was a separate building built known as the DWI facility, having the same concept as the work release program. However, the difference was that it was a diversionary program for DUI and DWI offenders. In the 90s, both programs were combined when the county built the Hyattsville Justice Center, and the 100-bed work release facility was attached and housed both work release and DWI offenders. Our county was the first in the state to have such a program. And now we evolved to our Community Release Center, recognizing our continual commitment to return offenders to the community whole as best as we can. It's a good time because we as a jurisdiction are a partner in the national trend for criminal justice reform. We are not on this bandwagon because it's only the correct thing to do, but it's also the healthy thing to do for our offenders, families, citizens, and community as a whole. To some, it may appear that Prince George's County is last in the race when it comes to a work release program, but I beg to differ. It is an evolution, and we are just in the nth degree of it. For you see, we have conceptualized what we believe would be the best avenues to allow the offender to become a returning citizen, not segregating any, but qualifying all that meet the program's criteria while also understanding the importance of deterrence and punishment. So I'm grateful for the visionaries who are our county executive, the judiciary, elected officials, my director, and also the implementers who are my staff for fulfilling this spectrum for pretrial and sentence offenders and making our lives and communities safe. At this time, I would like to introduce Judge Adams.
Well, thank you. On behalf of the judiciary, this is a long time coming. And Barry Stanton can remember that once that facility closed in Hyattsville, we have been on the bandwagon about a work release center here in Prince George's County. Because so often, men and women come before our courts, and they have jobs, but there has to be consequences for their actions. But locking them up, throwing away their jobs, and destroying the livelihood of their family is not the answer. A facility such as this is needed, and we shouldn't have to go to other jurisdictions to find a place for our citizens. So on behalf of the judiciary, we are so excited to have a facility like this again in Prince George's County for our citizens. So, Director Mcdonough, Mr. County Executive, Deputy Director LeBay, and everyone who played a part in bringing this facility to our citizens, we thank you. We thank you. We thank you, because now we too have options to making sure that families stay together, people keep their jobs, because just because you make a mistake once doesn't mean it's the end and destroys everything that you have built. This gives citizens an opportunity to pay their debt to society, so to speak, but maintain their dignity and their livelihood. Thank you.
Judge Adams, you're incredible, because I know that was just off, we hit you this morning. Would you like to say a few words? And up here and sound so much better than I will after 3 months of practice. And people think I'm smart. First thing I said to her is, "You want to speak before me or after me?" And she says, "Before me," and I took it. So, I'm Meredith Mcdonough. I'm the director of the department. One part I hate about my job is speaking in public, and I'll never get over that. My mother tells people I was the kid that hid behind her skirt, and mothers wore skirts back then. When we were in the mall and met somebody she knew or something, I was very shy. Spent many years trying to overcome that. Anybody that knows me personally thinks, how can she be shy? But I still have a thing about speaking in front of groups. But obviously you can tell that I'm very pleased to be here today and to open this Community Release Center. When I was first introduced to corrections by Barry Stanton, our former director, one of the first things I heard about was why Prince George's County didn't have a community or work release center. And every time I run into Joe Valerio, whether it was in the courthouse, in Annapolis, in the Safeway, he'd say, when's that building going to open? And I'd have to, the building. Oh, work release. Well, we're working on it. So I'm very pleased to be here today. It's been a long time goal of mine in the department and the administration. And as has been said, Prince George's County was one of the first to have it, and then after a period of not actually having it, I really like the way that Corinne put it, that we've evolved, and what we're presenting today to the community is better and different than many of our other sister counties. If you didn't have a time to tour the facility prior to us getting started today, please take the time, because I think you'll enjoy it. You'll see we used a lot of bright colors and clean surfaces, smooth surfaces. Some of that is to be able to keep it clean, because we know that this is an institution as such, but also it's to give people some joy in their lives. And because people make a bad decision or a bad choice, they still have a lot to give, and we're welcome to do that. But this really is just one addition to the many accomplishments that the department has made under County Executive Baker. And I'm going to take the time to go through a few of those other accomplishments. One being the kitchen. And I got to look at Barry Stanton when I say that, because my first day on the job was, why is our kitchen in the basement? Why would anybody put a kitchen in the basement? A man must have designed this. First place when sewage backs up, where does it back up? Your basement. You do not want sewage, the health department, and a kitchen in the same sentence. So we're very pleased that in 2012 we were able to open a ground level kitchen that has a lot more space and a lot more things happening in it. Our jail is 31 years old. People still refer to it as the new jail. It was 31 years old in February, and it's showing its wear. We're very happy that we've been able to renovate the first of the four housing units, and soon we'll be on our second floor as soon as permitting is complete. So that's another wonderful accomplishment. We've done ecological improvements to our community service building, including a rain garden and a new roof, plus improvements to the drainage of the correctional center, adding a swale. And I wish some people were here from DER to hear me praise his swale and improve the storm drainage system. We have new air handlers in the correctional center that have been installed to better regulate the airflow and the temperature. Surveillance cameras have been added, bringing the total of our surveillance cameras now to 450, and that includes this building and our Hyattsville regional site. Groundbreaking will soon take place on the expansion and total renovation of our medical unit, which serves the medical needs. Many of our residents, inmates in the jail have severe health needs, and we find that a lot of them need excellent medical care, so we'll be providing that in a state-of-the-market facility. And finally, and most importantly, our average daily population has declined by over 1/3. from a high of 1507 to last night's low of, get this, 891. This huge decline is due to a number of factors, including reduction in crime, and I thank both the police chief and the sheriff for that. But it's also included the alternatives that we've developed as a county to incarceration, including our specialty courts, our community service, our pretrial release, and home detention. And of course, this is just another addition to an alternative to incarceration. Prince George's County and the department have been very busy, and we look forward to this continued decline in our population through the efforts of our great employees at DOC, including the strong team that Guy has established here today. And thank you for all the work that you've done to get ready for today. It's with great pleasure I welcome County Executive Baker to address you and give his thoughts about the opening.
Let's see, Mary Lou was saying that she didn't do it right by going after Judge Adams. I certainly didn't do it right by going after Mary Lou. But I do want to start off with a couple of thank yous. First of all, I want to recognize Linda Turner, who runs our T&I, which is one of our great groups. So thank you for being here. A couple of thank yous. As I was listening to Mary Lou talk about the accomplishments of the Department of Corrections over the last 8 years. One, I felt really old. And then I thought they have been doing a lot of hard work. And they have. And certainly it's been, the folks who've been recognized, when we talk about, our population being down in our jails, which is a great thing. Just think about that. At the same time that we're at an all-time low in terms of crime in Prince George's County. As of today, I believe I'm correct, Mark, that we were down 30% in violent crimes as of today over last year's historic knowledge. So we're reducing the population in our jails and we're reducing crime, but there are individuals who are responsible for that. Certainly someone who's been doing this for a long time, and I'm glad that he will continue to do this, he started as our chief of police, now as our sheriff, and will continue there. Melvin High, if we can give him another round of applause. Mr. Stanton, who it's like old homecoming week for him. He's back where it all began in Prince George's County, but under this administration, he started off as our deputy county administrator for public safety, and really just continued to support and move us along. If we can give him another round of applause. It must be a chief thing, you go from chief to sheriff and chief to deputy county administrator, taking over for Barry Stanton and having done a wonderful job as my first official appointment as chief of police, coming in at a time when things were let's say a little shaky, or maybe a lot shaky, but turned it around. And for all of the good and hard work that he did, we decided to give him more good and hard work at the Department of Corrections and Public Safety and Sheriff. But Mark McGough, if we can give him a round of applause. And what can I say about Mary Lou? I've said this, and I want to say it because, this is the final lap of the Baker administration. So any opportunity I get to talk about the men and women who have made this county truly great. I mean, this is a great day for us here in Prince George's County to open up this facility after having it closed. Just think about the struggle for 6 years of having to look at other areas where, as the judge said, individuals can get a second chance at life. But not just a second chance, but a holistic approach to it. To work on that and to have the compassion and the drive to get it done. You needed a director that was going to push us. A director that was willing to work with the court system, willing to work with our health department, our social services, but keep us moving, and how do we make sure that those individuals who have made a mistake, that we don't let them repeat that mistake? The drive behind this from our administration and what you see today in making sure that this facility is open is Meredith Mcdonough. Can we give her a round of applause? So my job is easy. As county executive, I get the chance to say that we have opened this facility. But the men and women who will work with the individuals that come in here, it is just beginning. Because it is those men and women who are going to make sure that the individuals who actually walk through that door don't repeat that. It is the individuals who are being trained right now who will work with the men and women to make sure that they keep their job, that this one mistake doesn't cut them off. That when we talk about returning citizens, we mean it in every sense of the word, that they are citizens and they are returning to us. But they're not just returning the way they were, they're returning better. That is really what this is about. It is not simply four walls. It is not about a place to divert people to, so we have more jail space. It is not simply do you check in and check out. It is about changing their lives so they are better when they leave here. Because if we do that, then they will make the contribution to society that we all want them to do. That they will be the thing that God called them to be. So this is not just work. This is God's work. This is shaping and molding people who may not have had that chance before and giving them every opportunity that we give our very own children. And so when you walk through these walls after this is over and you think about this, think about it in terms of what you do when you want to make sure that people are better. If we do that, if we dedicate ourselves to making sure that happens, then we will continue to see a great day in Prince George's County. God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Baker. Now I'd like to encourage everybody to step outside where we'll be met by members of our award-winning honor guard so that we can officially cut the ribbon. And don't forget to please come back for a tour and have some refreshments. And thank you again for coming.
I'm sorry, it's the chairman. Get the chairman, please.
You don't have to give me a guide, don't worry about that.
Okay, you're going to give us a countdown and we'll do it.
Okay, 1, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Yay!